Yo, you tuned into the Swanglin show hosted by Joshua Dunn, Caviar Dick. This is your boy, the Bear Jew. Vice Gripp. Conspiracy is the label.
Oh yeah, what's up everybody? You are now tuned in to the first episode of the official The Swanglin Show, hosted by myself. My name is Joshua Dunn. P, middle initial for Padre, because I could be your dad. I'm sitting here with my dude, Caviar Dick. What's happening?
What's happening?
Here for the first Swanglin Show. I'm cooling with fucking Caviar D, Xavier Slick, Stank Sinatra, the fucking one of the biggest assholes I've ever met in my entire life.
Oh yeah, ask your girlfriend about me.
You guys have no clue. This dude should be like a habitual person that would be on Maury Povich. You could be that guy.
Oh yeah, dude, fucking, I do big shows in Vegas. You don't fucking know about me.
Oh yeah, Caviar Dick, big star, international star. I got him in here with me hosting the Swanglin Show, and we're gonna talk about all kinds of different shit. We're gonna talk about music. We're gonna talk about wrestling. We're gonna talk about politics. We're gonna talk about, especially, we're gonna tell some backstory of some of the incidents that I've gotten with this fucking guy here, Caviar Dick. There's many times when I've, saved your life. You know what I'm saying?
Many fucking times.
Kept you out of prison multiple times. You go through things as a human being.
Oh,
I guess you learn over
now,
time.
more or less, it's alcohol.
Yeah.
Things are mostly alcohol related, and you got a 50-50. It's like playing Russian roulette.
Oh yeah.
You got a 50-50 chance. We're gonna have a great time, or it's gonna turn bad real quick.
Oh yeah, like that one time when you punched that kid and knocked him out just for saying he worked at Chipotle. That was that most epic shit of all time.
Oh yeah, dude, but that's not my fault.
Yeah.
That's definitely not my fault at all. I was not in the wrong.
Oh yeah. So the first point that we've established here on the Swanglin Show is that if you work with food, you're at risk to get your ass whooped, according to Caviar Dick.
Oh yeah, fuck a Chipotle.
Well, yeah. Let's go in and let's talk about. Do you remember? We were in Bowling Green, Ohio. We lived in Bowling Green, Ohio. For people that don't know about that fucking town, it's like some small fucking Division I college town. There's a bunch of fucking. All you can do is get pussy and eat pizza and drink beer. Basically, is what's going on in this place. We go out to the bar. We have a mutual friend of ours that comes out. That's a veteran, part of the United States Air Force.
Oh yeah, so we're out trying to show him a good time and everything.
Yeah, we go out to the bar. We're hanging out, and there's what would you say, the typical fucking frat boy crowd type cats in the house.
Oh yeah, the little fucking jockey type dudes think they're fucking tough shit.
So we fucking are sitting at the table. We move and go to another table in between while, people are getting drinks or whatever. And we come back to the table.
And granted, we had people standing at this table the entire time. Standing there.
Right, so we got basically a moat worth of people. You know what I'm saying? Sitting around this table. We come back to the table. Somebody's cigarettes are missing, right? It's our dude from the Air Force. His pack of cigarettes is gone, but there's this pack of new people that's sitting at the table. So, of course, this dude don't want to make some crazy kind of scene because he doesn't want to get in trouble. But then he remembers who he was at the bar with. Fucking Caviar Dick.
Oh yeah, and to me that's disrespectful. How you just gonna steal somebody's cigarettes?
Well, cigarettes are terrible
right
for you anyways, but we all smoke cigarettes because we're stupid,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so,
dude.
Okay, what happens? You know what I'm saying? You go up to this guy.
Well, I confront the dude. I'm like, fucking, y'all just sat down on this table and these cigarettes are missing, so obviously 2 and 2 together, you fucking stole the cigarettes. So this dude starts getting loud and fucking basically wanting to fight, so I dump my beer on his head.
Oh yeah, put some respect on it.
Gotta put some respect on my motherfucking name, And Well, he didn't like that all that much, so he wanted to fight me after that. So he continuously tried to get me to walk out in front of him down these steps. And personally, I know what happens when people do that shit. You're getting sucker punched as soon as you... I'm not trying to get knocked down the motherfucking steps.
Oh, yeah, because it's curtains at that point. I mean, you could be the toughest fucking dude in the world, but if you get kicked down a flight of steps, what can you do about that?
So, at this point, I got two choices. You know? One, either do this shit now, right in the middle of the fucking bar, or walk away. I'm not the kind of person to just walk away from somebody once they fucking throw the fucking glove down, you know? So, I'm standing there fucking... I just turned my hat around backwards, and fucking next thing you know, I busted this motherfucker right in the nose with my head.
With the headbutt.
And then make a beeline for the door.
He hits him with the Abdullah the Butcher style, straight headbutt move to the point where this dude's head hits this guy like right across the bridge of the nose. And you instantly, it makes this sound. It's like somebody hitting a home run almost. It's ta-dow. Holy shit. Yeah. And then the best part of this whole entire story, though, is Caviar Dick hits the headbutt move. These dudes don't want no problems because this dude, Caviar Dick, is big body. He comes with the headbutt. This dude comes out of nowhere with this screeching tone in his voice after being headbutt, like the biggest pussy in the world.
Leaking blood everywhere.
Leaking, and what does he say?
Who headbutts people?
So yeah, that is the moral of the story is Caviar Dick fucking headbutts people.
The coolest part about that night, though, was right after that, I watched the bouncers start to swarm in on us, so I fucking made a break for the door. They stopped me at the door, and they tell me, we're not gonna call the cops because we want you to come back and drink here, but you can't stay here tonight.
Because headbutting is not permitted, but spending your money is. How about fucking, round of applause for America.
Hey, what bar was that?
It used to be, I think it's called The Attic now. It had 2 layers where there's like
there's a downstairs level. And the upstairs. I had an outdoor patio on the upstairs floor, and that's what happened. I don't remember.
But anybody that's in Bowling Green, Ohio, that maybe be a BGSU student or something, if you're listening to this, comment and let us fucking know. What is the name of this fucking bar? There's 2 levels, and you can look down onto the street. It used to be called The Balcony or some shit maybe like that, or I can't fucking remember.
I don't even remember.
But
shit, in my opinion, that's a stand-up bar, you know?
Exactly. Fuck around and steal cigarettes from Caviar Dick's friends and see what happens to you.
Oh, yeah.
So, you can go to the bar and be around Caviar Dick and get knocked the fuck out. And I've seen this a million times in my life, and I've been there in situations where I've stopped people from getting knocked out. I've been in situations where I've actually been the source reason why people have got knocked out. Sometimes people get knocked the fuck out for nothing. It just depends on what happens.
No, there's some sort of a reason. It just depends on... it just depends, though, because I might have heard something and then made up something kind of in my head about somebody, and, you get to a certain level, and it's just all go. Green lights all fucking day.
Right, definitely. Shout out to CJ De Niro. All green lights. Conspiracy is the label. Rick's dangling for life. Swanglin at probably like 132-degree angle as obtuse.
Oh, yeah.
Swangle.
Fucking...
But since you're knocking people down out here in real life, and I've seen this countless fucking times, there's tangible proof and felonious record that Caviar Dick will beat the shit out of you. But if you had to pick a celebrity that you could punch right in the fucking face today, right now, no repercussions, it could even be monitored by the police department, sanctioned by the Fight Commission, like real deal. We put Caviar Dick, Xavier Slick, you know what I'm saying, in the ring with one celebrity person. Who you trying to beat up?
Hands down, Donald Trump.
Why Donald?
Dude, fuck that motherfucker.
I agree. Fuck Donald Trump.
He's bad news all around.
We're going to go on a record and co-sign then as the Swanglin Show. Fuck Donald Trump. There's actually a song out right now. Have you seen this song? It's Nipsey Hussle.
I seen something about
and
it.
YG.
I ain't heard it though.
They have a song called "Fuck Donald Trump."
Oh yeah,
and there's videos.
I can support that. You know,
there's videos now that are surfacing on the internet of like people driving past the Donald Trump rallies and shit with motherfuckers outside and just blasting the songs in their car and acting a fool.
Man.
And you know, like, I think it's cool that, like, since we have this outlet of doing this show, we should speak on political situations because, you know, we come from a different demographic. We're middle-aged dudes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
you know, we're in the point in our lives where we got to kind of take the whole political system seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is really affecting
our
pockets.
Our fucking pocket, Uncle Sam. You're raping me.
And it's just...
Yeah. Fuck Donald Trump. Who are we co-signing? Who is the Swanglin show co-signing for the upcoming election this year? I think we got to roll with Bernie Sanders. Personally. But I don't even know if he's the right answer. I think they're all fucked up because politicians are bought in the United States. But, you know.
But when you look at people's track records, Bernie Sanders, though, is out of all of them is the most stand-up guy.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Bernie Sanders. He's talking about he wants to, on a federal level, remove that sanction on marijuana.
I agree with that 100%.
So do I.
I mean,
I love to smoke weed.
The whole illegality of it is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. There's no reason in the world why marijuana should be a Schedule I drug like cocaine and heroin. And especially in the area where we live at, there's people that are getting busted for selling weed that are getting 4-year prison sentences with community control, and they're running them.
Dude, the only reason they keep it, though, is because of this privatized prison system.
Oh, yeah. But then at the same token, there's motherfuckers that are out here selling brown and cocaine and shit, and they're getting 9 months, 18 months.
Like, how you gonna get caught with a pound of heroin and only get 18 months?
Yes, I saw that.
When you're out here killing people with this shit.
It's crazy. Fuck heroin. Fuck Donald Trump. So Donald Trump basically is political heroin. In a sense.
Yeah, dude. 100%. This motherfucker gets people to... Like, the way you look at it is he gets stupid people kind of the same way as Charles Manson fucking got people to do what he wanted without really structuring it the way to where, yeah, go do this. No, I'm just going to give you some ideas and you build off of it whatever you want. But I'm really going to guide you in that direction.
Right. It's like suspending disbelief, almost like wrestling in a way, to where it's like they want to trick you. But we suggest that everybody do your own research on these politician cats that's out here. Do your own research on everything in the world, because you can get hustled out here faster than you could beat off with baby oil when no one else is around you.
Oh, yeah, dude. They'll sign all kinds of bills into effect while they got you staring off at something else.
Oh, yeah. And that's, you know, so we're going to go on the record right now that the Swanglin Show is saying officially, fuck Donald Trump.
And fuck our corrupt ass
government.
Fuck our
corrupt government. Fuck heroin. And shout out to Bernie Sanders. Collectively, that's our mission tonight, and that's what we're going to go ahead and get into. We're going to talk about this week coming up on Sunday night. There's the WWE Payback pay-per-view that we're going to be checking out. You know what I'm saying? The main event. Roman Reigns versus fucking AJ Styles.
For the title.
For the strap. You know what I'm saying? And there's this budding influx of talent from Japan coming in, and there's people bubbling and shit. So that's going to be good. So if you don't got shit going on Sunday night, tune into WWE Payback and tell us what you think about it and what you think should be going down.
Not to mention all the unknowns with the new people that they did just bring in, and seeing how these factions are going to play out. It's going to be a good thing to watch.
Oh yeah. If our listeners are wrestling fans and they pay attention to the rumor mills and shit, they know that there's some crazy shit about to be going on. And if there's no better time than right now, really, to be a wrestling fan. in comparison with the last decade, I would say right now is it's as hot as it's been.
Oh,
in
a
10
long
years,
time.
you know, and being a lifelong fan of it, it's cool to see like some progress with their product and them actually starting to do some cool shit again. Give me something to look forward to other than, you know, doing music and doing real life shit like having jobs and, you know, all this other shit. We need some other shit to.
It's a good form of entertainment.
Yeah,
now.
we need something to.
I mean,
to
it's
put our
basically
mind back.
Coming back to the time of the Attitude Era.
Oh yeah, and I wish it could like totally be that of like the fucking Stone Cold and DX and
Kevin
NWO
Nash and Scott
and
Hall.
shit. I wish that it could be that cool again, but as a fan, we have to move forward and just accept that they can't do that again.
Oh yeah, you can't replicate
Yeah.
that whole time period of wrestling.
That was just everything. All the pieces fell together for them to have like the perfect fucking shit, and that was dope. And what else is dope is we got the first ever guest on the Swanglin show. Man, we're gonna say what's up to my man Vice Gripp. What's up, bro?
Chilling, bro. What they do?
Hey, man, sometimes they do what they're told. Sometimes they don't listen. You know how it goes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being the first guest on the official Swanglin show with myself and Caviar Dick, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, Swing was on them all day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, that's how we do it. Now, I've got some real good questions for you. You know what I'm saying? I've been rocking with you for a minute. I want to know, how did you get your start in creating music?
Well, it started with actually more the performance aspect. Like when I was real young, I'm talking about like 5 years old, you know, little summer camps or, you know, preschool things before actual grade school started. You know what I mean? I did like talent shows, lip syncing and dancing and shit with my friends. And we used to, you know, work pretty hard at it. And then we would win them shits, you know what I mean? And that, to me, it felt good, all the attention and the praise. So really that's the start of it. And then, you know, writing like poetry in elementary school turned into song lyrics in middle school. And then 8th grade, you know, I bought some turntables and a mixer, and I started cutting up records a little bit, not recording nothing, but just like practicing, scratching. You know what I mean? I was breakdancing at the time, trying to do graffiti even though my handwriting is mad ugly. And then like 9th grade, you know, I was already starting like writing battle lyrics online, you know what I mean, and just fucking around in my free time. But, you know, then I started taking it a little more serious and crafting my skills once, you know, I created Psycho South with my homeboy Big Rella. And then, you know what I mean, we worked on it. Squad grew, and we really started taking it serious like 05, 06 after we got out of high school, because that's when we was like, you know, starting to press mixtapes and T-shirts and do shows in downtown Miami and downtown Fort Lauderdale. Like, we was really getting it popping. So.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
and I remember that's around the time when I first got hip to you guys was, you know, shortly around that time. I remember Rage had brought you guys up to my attention. Rest in peace to the big homie DJ Ricky Hughes, Mr. Rage out of Arkansas.
Yeah, rest
you know
in
what I'm
peace.
saying? I remember around that time you guys had a really nice solid little following, and your presentation was real solid. Your merch game was proper. Your logo was fucking sweet. You know what I'm saying? And you guys, you know, were hitting the road and doing shows, and you guys put out that the debut album as a group from the Psycho South, that Dead Poet front toward Enemy. That had, you know, some pretty big features on here. You got Esham on there, K Reno, Papa Wu.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
You know, after like we started working on the Poets album in 2010, so it was about 4 years of making mixtapes. We had put out like 28 mixtapes, you know, in between combinations. Like the combo mixtapes were pretty easy because we would take, you know, we were just always in the studio doing songs. At the time, myself and the MC named Brosco, we lived together, and we had the studio in the 3rd bedroom at our townhouse. You know, the homies was just always coming over, picking beats, writing verses. So we had just library full of music. So we put compilations of songs together that fit, you know what I mean, and drop like free downloads on the website, you know what I mean, and putting just like right around MySpace era, we put out MySpace exclusive singles, you know what I mean, and just little things like that. So after doing that, I figured it was time for a serious album. You know, we wanted to press it physically. We wanted to distribute it digitally to like iTunes and Amazon and Spotify, and basically we wanted to put out a project that was on the level of, you know, a small independent label, because we were a small independent label. We were incorporated, you know what I'm saying? We had our merch game on lock, and we was doing everything that a small independent label did, except we didn't have a budget. We was just coming out of our own pockets to invest into ourselves as a group, and you know, taking the profits from all of the merchandise sales and reinvesting it back into like tours and shows and videos and doing different things. But you know, we wanted to make a big album, so we tried to get as many, you know, like every feature that we ever wanted, dream features, you know, that you just dream of doing songs with cats. We just, you know, we went for it, and project came out real dope. You know, we had a lot of dope production on there. It was the first all original project from the group, and it was, you know, sadly the last project that came out, but I felt like, you know, we went out, the group went out on top. We put out our best material right before we went our separate ways.
Definitely. Now, that group, the Dead Poets, that was you, that was the homie Big Umbrella, and who else was in that joint?
Third member was Squire Zama. Originally, originally the Dead Poets was me and Big Rella, and there was always a rotating third member. Like Rella's cousin, Forsaken, was the original third member, and then Brosco was the third member for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Back in like the 05, 06 era, we tried to put out an album, and it wound up just being a collective of songs. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay,
you know, the third member was always rotating. It wound up being Squire Zama, and he came in right at the perfect time when we was ready to do something very serious. You know, it was the biggest project that the squad ever did. So he became the official third member, but you know, it was a one project deal. It was kind of like, you know, we collaborated for that project, and then everyone broke off to do their own thing.
Definitely, and I remember, you know, somewhere within that time period, you also put out that solo joint, that outlaw music that was real fire, that had Rage on there, on the Letter to My Enemies joint. I was on there on Contemplating Homicide with me and you and Big Rella. You had Squire Zama was on there, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, Squire was on there.
Oh, yeah, though, I remember that tape right there that came out, that was like cemented you in a different level, because cats was starting to get hip to the fact that you weren't just a rap dude, you know what I mean? I mean, you were actually talking about different things with social commentary and talking about, you know, just evolving as far as your subject matter, and on an even doper level than that, you're making the beats. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
cats don't know about that now. How long have you been producing your own music?
Well, I started production actually before I really started. I would say around the same time I started writing like actual battle and rap lyrics. You know, originally I didn't know anything about song format, so I was just writing long verses with bars. You know, some of them wouldn't even really connect to each other. Like it was a lot of figuring out when I first started. But I was doing everything all at once. I was teaching myself how to record, teaching myself how to cut, you know, as far as scratching, and then teaching myself how to, I had bought like the most bootleg drum machine. It was like $100, you know what I'm saying? But it was all I could afford. I couldn't afford an MPC, so I got this little ass drum machine, you know what I mean, a couple speakers, a little computer microphone, and I had my 2 turntables, and then I fucking stole a Casio keyboard from somebody, and I was just, you know what I mean, making just like the craziest sounding bootleg beats, you know what I mean, that a little 14-year-old kid could do. But I made a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? Like I had like 5,000 beats before I started getting really pretty good at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was ridiculous. I went through multiple different computers, but, you know, once I really I started hitting it with Fruity Loops, which is now FL Studio, and I've been using that, you know, ever since. And
That's what's up,
I mean,
man.
I always produce the beats. The beats, you know, a lot of our early mixtapes have my beats mixed in with other producers' beats. We never really like credited the producers in the early days. We was really doing it bootleg style, but you know, I've always made beats ever since I was 14, so it's been a good minute.
Well, that's what's up, and that's something that, you know, a lot of the people from like the fan perspective, they don't understand, like the amount of time that people, especially on the production end, put into an album project, or I'm not sure if you're familiar with the book The Outliers. Author Malcolm Gladwell, he says that it takes 10,000 hours of practice on one specific thing to master that art. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
Well, I do think, you know, practice makes perfect. It's kind of like, you know, when you're talking to somebody, you can tell by how they speak of what they're speaking about exactly how, you know, versed they are in what they're talking about, you know. So it's like, if someone's a rookie at something, I could tell you a rook, you know what I mean, especially if it's something that I've done for years. So, I mean, I couldn't mathematically put a number on it, but the only way to really get good at something is to just put in the time. You know, experience is the best teacher. You know, I can I can learn by reading things and thinking about things, but really getting my hands on something is the best way. You know, just playing with it, just tapping the button, seeing what they do, you know what I'm saying? That's the easiest way to really just develop a rhythm, you know? And if you're a creative person, you're going to develop a process, you know, and it'll be your process. And then you can, once you master your process, you can turn what's in your head into realistic things. And that's the best thing about creating is you're like, okay, I got it in my head and now it's alive, you know?
Definitely. Now, as far as the production aspect is concerned, I think that you got like a really unique kind of style, you know what I'm saying? You blend different kinds of samples and sometimes you do real synth heavy stuff, and you got a pretty wide array of styles that you can pull off, which is really cool. And what would you say is like the height of your production? Do you have any features that you've done for bigger artists or anything like that you would say are, you know, production accomplishments?
Well, we made sure strategically that all the features that we put on the Dead Poets project were all on beats that I produced, you know. So if the song blew up, we would not have any issues royalty-wise because I would be the producer on the track. But
right.
So, you know, I got K Reno, I got Quan, I got Rock from Helter Skelter, Papa Wu, Liquid Assassin, all these MCs rocked on my beats. And then I've produced beats, you know, for underground heads that have hit me up and paid for custom production. The biggest placement I got, I had a beat on Esham's album Venus Flytrap, you know, and I couldn't tell you the name of it because every name of the song on the album is a different chemical. It starts with a C, though.
I remember that. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
What I'll do is when we play this back, I'll have a nice little bubble that pops up where you can go and check out that track by Esham, produced by my man here, Vice Gripp.
Yeah, so you know that was a big accomplishment for me. I produced a beat for basically most of the RLP crew, Real Life Productions. I produced one of the singles for Poe Hussein's album Possessed. I produced a couple beats for Daniel Jordan. I don't know if he used them or not, but you know I've worked with a lot of them cats out in Detroit, the legends, you know what I mean? And right now I'm just developing my own style. Like you said, it's kind of a wide array. You know, I can do sample flips, I could do original compositions, and a lot of times they're very synth heavy, you know? Like, it's the style. It just depends on the mood and the vibe. Sometimes I mix samples and synths at the same time. So
definitely. And one more on the subject of vibe. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take it back. Okay, we got an instance that happened, you know what I'm saying? I come down to Florida, you know what I'm saying? I link up with the man Vice Gripp, we shoot a music video for the banger that you got on the album, The Bear Jew Lives, called 9 Nickel 4. Is a Broward County, Florida fucking anthem banger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We were out there. We were on a rooftop with the sun just beating on us, treating us like a clam bake at Joe's Crab Shack with the swimming pool on the roof and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I thought was fucking dope, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm from Ohio. I don't ever see no water or, you know, crazy sunshine or rooftop pools and shit like that.
Yeah,
we were kicking it and burning down, and that was a great fucking time. Do you have any memories of that day specifically?
Oh yeah, it was nice meeting up, you know what I'm saying? Because we've done good business for a number of years, and then you was in the area. We could, you know what I mean, collab on that visual, and you had a good idea as far as the cuts and the you know what I mean, the scenes, and I knew exactly where to take us, because basically I laid it out in the song, you know what I mean? Like the song kind of chronologically goes through my travels from when I was a kid and all the different cities I lived in, and you know what I mean, spent time in Broward. So we just went all around them different places. And what we should have done when we was on that rooftop was turn around and get on them bitches that was watching us. But, you know, we was on business, so they was just, you know what I mean? They just saw us bringing the camera equipment, and they was peeping it like, But it was, you know, sunbathing, doing their thing, and we was out there dropping them hot bars on a rooftop in Fort Lauderdale. You know what I mean? Shouts out to my boy Scam. He's the one to let us up in his apartment building, luxury condos, you know? But
definitely,
it was a good vibe. You know? It was you know, it was interesting shooting that video, going through and seeing all the different spots. It brought back a lot of memories, and I think it matched the song perfectly.
Oh yeah, we did cover a lot of ground that day too. How many different cities were we even in that day shooting?
At least 12 to 14 different cities.
Right,
easily.
We were in Davie, we were in Hollywood.
Yeah. Davie, Hollywood, Miramar, Pembroke Pines, Fort Lauderdale, Sunrise, Hallandale, you know what I'm saying? Cooper City. We was all over the place, you know.
Oh yeah, so, Fort Lauderdale. Did you say that?
Yeah, I said Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground that day.
Yeah, and we were smoking the good the whole time. That's how we do, skirting around the town. You know what I mean?
Definitely had the cologne on, you know. How we got to get down in the rental vehicle with the cologne. I did get pulled over in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Speeding in a school zone, and I got out of the ticket.
Oh, man, you got lucky. A lot of the cops down here are assholes, so you must have had one that just had his coffee.
Yeah, I did get lucky on that one. I want to go in and I want to talk about right now. You got this new mixtape that's out called The Purge.
Yeah, The Purge.
Tell me about The Purge, man.
Well, basically, The Purge originally started out as a collaboration project between myself and I Am Trouble. But like the homie's name suggests, he started getting in trouble and he had to go on the run for a little bit. So, you know, I thought we had a couple tracks and it was real dope, you know, and I didn't want to just let the project fall to the floor. So I picked it up as a solo project. You know, I kept the tracks that me and him did, and I continued to build on it. And then the more I got into it, it started taking on a life of its own as far as like, okay, the Purge concept in the movie is one night a year to let out all your negativity, and the rest of the year you can let the positivity shine because, you know, theoretically they say your human nature is you harbor up these feelings, you got to let them out sometime, so might as well isolate it. This, to me, was me purging out everything that I had done before, you know. I wasn't really harboring negative feelings towards my past music and my past group members, but I felt like, okay, it's a transition period. I'm trying to go into a different direction to discover who Vice Gripp is as a solo artist because, you know, The Bear Jew Lives was my first solo project in 2013, but from when I started making music in 2001 to 2012, I mean, I did it as a group. You know, it was always a collective thing, so the creative process was, you know, new as far as being completely up to me. And
Right, that's a lot more work. You know, you gotta, when you're in a group, you only gotta write, you know, 116 or, you know, help formulate a hook. Or, I mean, in your position, though, I mean, in most scenarios, you were making the beat as well, so your workload per record was already, you know, pretty high in comparison to someone that's just, you know, rapping, per se.
Right, yeah, and at the time I was doing all of the mixing and mastering of all the songs that everyone did, not just the tracks that I was on, but everyone's projects. So it was a good workload, but even more than just the aspect of, okay, I got to write more, because I could always write more, you know, turning a song that I would maybe do a hook in the 16 to a hook in 3/16 in a bridge. But even more than that was the concepts, you know. To me, like, okay, in one of the best hip-hop groups of all time, UGK, Bun B said that he was just the MC. He came to just bury his pen to the paper and, you know, bury lyrics like bars. That's all he cared about. Pimp C was the one who came up with the concepts, with the styles, with the vibes. That's kind of how it was with the group. Like, I just came with my pen, you know what I'm saying? It was like my sword. I just pulled it out, I chopped shit up, and then I dipped. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as, like, lyrically, I just really, you know, it was a lot easier when you had, you know, a bunch of heads in the room throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what stuck. Then transition to being completely solo and creating. Now I'm the only one who can come up with concepts. I can't go anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's all on me to now create an entire album full of material, you know. And it was a hard project. Like, The Bears Who Lives, I worked really hard for a good 5 months writing. The writing process took about 5 months as far as writing, memorizing, and really getting the whole album structurally and lyrically completed. I had all the beats. The beats were produced, you know what I'm saying? That's always what I do first in my process, is I always produce the beat first. Once I have the beat, I listen to the beat repeatedly, and I just try to zone out to it and see what kind of vibe I get. Like, what should I talk about? You know, I let the beat kind of dictate the tone of the song, and then I come up with the idea based on how the beat sounds. So that's how I write tracks, you know what I mean? So I had the beats done, I wrote the tracks, I recorded it, and it was a very successful project when it first came out. You know what I'm saying? I was real proud of it, my first solo project. But The Purge,
and that's a very solid product. I really appreciated the way that you packaged the physical product of the album The Bear Jew Lives. And anybody that's listening to this interview, you can head over to vicegripp.com or go to iTunes or any other digital retailer and pick up The Bear Jew Lives from Vice Grip. But I suggest that you pick up the physical copy because the packaging is phenomenal. The artwork is great. It's a good-looking product, and I appreciated it from a consumer standpoint and a fan of hip-hop.
Yeah. So now, tying it all back together to the current project, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm basically, The Purge was one last mixtape in the old style with the sample chopping, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you look at the details, I had one fan already tell me who listened to it, and he's been listening to my music for, almost 10 years now. He said that, he's like, you could have named this project Outlaw Music too, because it sounds, you know what I'm saying, it's in that style, and that's what I was aiming for, because Outlaw Music was the hardest at the time. I just went so hard with it, and it was my most successful project. So with The Purge, you know, that night in the movie is just so crazy. So I used that concept as well. I just wanted the whole project to just be so slamming front to back. You know what I mean? It's like, and then when it stops, it's kind of abrupt. Like, okay, that's it. It's over, man. You know, I might do some bonus tracks on the physical presses when I press out physical copies for The Purge. I don't have them yet, but I'm probably gonna do a couple bonus tracks. You know what I mean? Maybe some secret stuff on there. We'll see what's good.
Definitely. Now, I'm looking over the track listing right now for The Purge mixtape that they can get right now at vicegripp.com. That's VICEGRIPP.com. And I'm looking over the track listing here, and you got a straight banger on here that's featuring myself and our good buddy representing the 513 Cincinnati, Ohio, CJ De Niro on here called I'm Good, and it's a straight banger, my friend.
Yeah, that track is something fierce. We're going to have to shoot a music video for that one because that's the one that when I let people hear the CD or I do live performances, they always repeat in the chorus afterwards.
Oh, yeah, we got one, man. We got one, my man. Victory is a team.
Yeah, shout out to, CJ De Niro. Conspiracy is the label. Everybody up there in the OH10 down here in Broward County, you know what I'm saying? We representing all day.
Definitely. Now, you are a big Miami sports fan. Is that correct?
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, even though I'm from Ohio, you know what I'm saying? You know this. A lot of the listeners might not know this.
Uh-huh.
I'm a big Miami Dolphins football fan.
Already.
I know that you are a big Miami Dolphins football fan. We had a rough season last year, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're coming into this 2016 with a new head coach, some holes in the roster. What do you expect from this Dolphins season we got coming up right now?
It's funny because if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, you know exactly what I'm about to say. You get kind of excited in the off season. You start saying, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we could do something. We got a lot of potential here. And for some reason, it's just like there in sports, there's that magical element where if a team just clicks, it's a chemistry. It's kind of like a rap group, you know what I'm saying? If everyone finds their spot and everything locks in perfectly, there's an extra element to it. And that is always what the Dolphins lack, is that final just extra element. I feel confident, in the ability of Ryan Tannehill. If we can protect him and get him some nice weapons, I feel like our offense will be good. We need to get back to that Miami Dolphins defense, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully Sue has a better year than he did because it always seems like we get big-name players and they underperform when they're down here. Case in point, Brandon Marshall. He didn't have a good year down here. Obviously,
yeah.
We were developing a quarterback at the time, so you could say Tannehill was a reason that Marshall didn't work with him. But I feel like now Ryan's at a level to where he can perform well enough to win games if we have that extra element. If we can have that extra element, and it's all about chemistry with the players, you know what I'm saying? Certain players step up in certain aspects. I feel like we can do some good things this year, and hopefully we'll have a, playoff performance.
Definitely, and I look at, social media and all the different, the blogs of the sports world, and all these professional writers and shit. These cats go at Tannehill's neck, you know what I'm saying? But I'll go on record. The Swanglin Show supports quarterback Ryan Tannehill of the Miami Dolphins, you know what I'm saying? We're expecting big things from the man, you know what I'm saying? He's going to be putting it down, and you already know that I got a trip in the works where I'm going to be coming down there to Miami to fuck with you once again, but we're going to have to go check out Mr. Ryan Tannehill and Juice Landry and company. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. We definitely going to have to hit a game
do
up.
Some tailgate.
Yeah, getting it crunk already.
Definitely. Now, we're going to go ahead and wrap this interview up. I appreciate you being the first official guest, you know what I'm saying, on the Swanglin Show with myself, Joshua Dunn, and Caviar Dick. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
So when we come back around full circle, and this shit's popping all the way, we do anniversary episode number 100. You know what I'm saying? We got to bring back the Bear Jew, you know what I'm saying, and hit him one more time. I'm sure you'll be back long before episode 100. You know what I'm saying? But
yes, sir.
You want to tell the people where they can holler at you at social media or any way they can contact you?
Yeah, y'all go to the Google search engine and type in the rap name Vice Gripp. That's VICEGRIPP. You'll get all my social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You know what I'm saying? ViceGripp.com, the official website. You can go download the Purge mixtape in both MP3 and WAV versions, whichever you prefer. You know what I'm saying? I got my web store on there. You can cop The Bear Jew Lives. I got T-shirts. I got necklace charms with the Vice Gripp skull-crushing logo. We're about to have new merchandise very soon. It's going to be a lot of dope things coming up, so just follow the website. Keep up with your boy, and I appreciate everyone that's tuned in and listened to the podcast. My dog, Joshua Dunn, a.k.a. that dude. Good looks on having me. Swanglin, in and out. Already, you know.
Swing, I'm swinging. Conspiracy label and
Yo, you tuned into the Swanglin Show, hosted by Joshua Dunn, Caviar Dick. This is your boy, the Bear Jew. Vice Gripp. Conspiracy is the label.